You back from the field trip earlier. I'll apologize again for my tardiness.
It didn't matter. The field trip was short enough that
Yep,
Yeah, no, I figured it was just
plenty
a
of room for that.
quick check and look.
yep.
So that went pretty well, and we're going to discuss those matters again next week.
Yeah.
All right. With that, we'll open up the meeting at the town office, saying the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Off my notepad. Can I have a piece of paper?
Hold on, let me get my red marker.
No, I have my highlighter.
Yeah.
Just to take notes, basically. Or I can run back to my office and get it.
That's alright, that's alright.
So,
I don't like writing on just one, so.
I don't either. Thank you. That's some fancy paper.
Alright, PD renovation bids.
Okay.
How many do we end up getting in?
4.
4.
Nice.
Now the hope was that we would get some small residential contractors
Local people.
to throw in a price, cause it is a small scale job, but all we got was commercial contractors.
Okay.
And so, obviously a commercial contractor will have a bit more overhead,
Yeah.
so the prices came in a little higher than we were thinking.
But at the same time, maybe more familiar with the bond aspect.
If it's needed.
Yeah.
At this time, that was left as not a part of the price.
Okay.
Yep.
So, have you already reviewed all the quotes, Lou?
No.
So if you could just grab your packet and
Do I even have it?
your packet? It should have been on the table in your
Is it
spot
under
when
your
you
note?
first came in.
It's under your notebook.
Under your notepad.
On my note.
You hit it on your
Okay.
Yeah. There's like a second pad of paper. These are far too many things in our packet this week, Debbie.
I know, for a short little agenda. Just trying to be thorough, since I forgot a couple things last week.
Oh yeah. No paper to write on.
I did bring my highlighter though.
Now, Jason, did you have the opportunity to meet with each one of these contractors out at the site?
That was a prerequisite to giving a proposal. The only one I did not meet with where is I believe it was oh wait.
Did Mike meet with them or did he?
Yeah,
go there?
Mike.
Oh,
I think that was Solid Roots. Oh boy, now my memory.
it's okay. We'll make a note of that.
My memory.
Yep.
This looks like we had a good, it's not like one quote was here and then like all the quotes are just all over the place. There seems to be like a high and a low and then a couple in the middle.
Well, yeah.
Alright, and then even tonight, it's not that we're necessarily like we're awarding
No,
the contract. This is more for informational quoting purposes and to see if we were on the right track with, you know, thinking that it could be done for X amount of dollars.
So,
Now that there is the X amount of dollars, you'll notice a lot of these are good for 7 days. Maybe not a lot. I saw it on one. I don't know. This one is
material
30.
cost.
Yeah, and that was one of the reasons why we didn't do it initially. Put it out to bid because the numbers just
There's this
so
one that
subjective.
all it says is estimated for, and it doesn't have,
Which one?
the one signed by Jeffrey Kelly. Oh, I see the estimate, okay. Never mind.
Yeah,
And
and that's from Solid Roots Construction.
there's only,
That's who?
Solid Roots.
Solid Roots.
So we had Solid Roots Construction,
Got it.
Triple Construction, Aho Construction, and Monadnock Commercial Building Company.
and there are back pages. It's two-sided printing, just so you.
And so the spread of prices went from 63,725 to 150,572.
And that obviously did not include
So
the security system.
no, that's a
That's
separate issue because talking with the chief, the security system is in need of an upgrade,
Okay.
and so that falls more on.
Yeah, well, what, like we mentioned last week, or whenever, the extra construction, the extra space is gonna require more.
Yeah.
You've got cells, so you have to have a camera in each cell.
There is that aspect there, but also the software itself is getting out of date.
And hardware, unable to.
That's
be
right,
fixed.
and hardware. Yeah.
Yeah, I had mine at home, changed out, so
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I didn't think it would be a part of this. I mean, if the board wanted to make it a part of this, that's up to the board.
I'll email all of these to Chief.
Yeah, he was pretty much. I think he was included on most of
Oh,
the
okay.
emails, and he hasn't really been too involved.
Okay.
He's attended a few of the site visits.
Yep.
But I think the chief just wants it done
Yeah.
and doesn't wanna get involved in the construction discussion.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, just so
That's
he's
my
aware.
feeling. He didn't say that, but
Yeah.
that's my feeling.
So, as a part of this, like for the cells, have you found like any pricing on how much the cells would cost to put in?
There is no cells, so this is a misnomer.
Okay,
We're not looking to build a jail.
no, I know, but like
We're
holding,
looking to hold, you could call it a holding room.
okay, so there is no, cause on the
And
quotes
this
it
is-
says something about cells that were gonna be installed by someone else, like, so
Well, no, what you're seeing there is the metals, the installation of bars at holding cells.
yeah, so cells in metal,
Right. What that was, that is
In the new area.
where the holding cells, the misnomered, mislabeled.
okay,
Well, because some of these companies have worked on PDs and they actually put in a jail cell and they started talking and I'm like, no. What we do, what the PD does, they'll hold someone there for an hour.
yeah,
Sometimes maybe 2-3 hours, but that's what the purpose of the room is. And so Mike requested to have an opening, you might remember at the
Yeah.
presentation, that it not be a solid wall, that he could have an opening, because most of the people that he puts in there, he wants to be able to talk to them and
Yeah.
not have to unlock the door, because most of the people you're able to do that. We had 2 cells. One was for the person who you're unable to do that with. It
Yeah.
would be completely closed off. And so a local welder, DC Welding, came up to me afterwards and said, I'll donate the metal bars.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
And it would just be an angle iron frame with holes drilled to mount into the wood.
Alright.
So the installation of bars is that.
Okay.
It's like a picture frame.
Alright, so there's no additional cost then, like on that part, like the metal
No.
that we should consider,
No.
cause he's donating
He
it.
said he would donate it.
Okay,
Time and materials.
Does the town have any, experience with any of these construction companies before?
One, I have some. And I believe the town has used Aho Construction. Have they used it, Aho?
I'm not sure.
They're the only one from in town. Would be Aho Construction. Monadnock Commercial Building Company. I met with John. That was the first time I've ever met him. And I don't know of that company. That would be the next local company. These other 2 are from Manchester. And so,
Alright, so where do we go from here with this, sir?
that's what I'm here for. To get direction from the board. I don't know, I feel like the 2 higher bids probably should be excluded.
Yeah, cause the 2 lower bids fit within an amount of money that we could potentially come up with
Potentially,
relatively quickly.
Now, I would like to take the 2 lower bids, talk with both of them. But also, I wanna talk with, Dennis Howe, who's working on the finances right now,
Mhm.
and see what we might have to work with within the budget of this year. That's
Of
what
this
my
year,
thought was,
2022's budget,
yeah.
he won't know that.
Hmm?
He won't know that.
Until the end of the year.
Well,
And then there's even that thought, cause we've taken in money like for the detail work.
Yeah.
And there's a surplus of money in that
that was
account.
what we had the public meeting, really, that was
Yeah.
a big
Right.
reason why we had it.
Yeah,
But that number wouldn't cover even the lowest bid, as far as I know.
oh, I thought it
Oh,
would,
yeah,
It
well,
would cover the lowest
It would
one,
cover-
but not the next one.
but not the next one.
yeah,
So it could be tapped into that, and then, cause obviously financing is,
Cause I think that.
but
the,
these 2, I feel like they just kind of fell off.
yeah,
And I think, had a residential contractor put a number on it, it would be substantially less than these 2. Is my gut feeling, but none did, and I don't anticipate any coming forward.
I emailed a couple of local people
Oh, did you?
and attached the plans and everything, saying you need to talk to Jason for a site
Yeah.
visit, and neither one of them
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
even
and they're busy.
responded.
And this is the thing with a residential, a small guy,
Mm-hmm.
he's estimator, he's
Right.
running the job, he's everything. And if he's busy, to come up with a price like this is difficult.
yeah.
It's real challenging. So I don't.
So right now,
That's how it
like,
is.
the way I kinda see it is that we should work off of this lower number. You know, see what's in that, detail revolving account. And then find out what we need to do in order to access those funds and expend the funds on a project like this,
Yeah.
right?
That's what I was hoping to hear. I want this to move forward. I feel like really when you just step back and look at it, the PD has been neglected
Yeah,
for many years and it really needs to be done.
yeah, but then,
I will add that there's more clarifications needed on these two. Because I spoke with, this Monadnock commercial building came in today.
yeah,
And I briefly spoke with him and some methods of construction were used here that weren't used here.
okay,
So, for example, he has the LVT flooring compared to, which would be the click lock flooring compared, they're just little things like this, but
yeah,
compared to glue down.
yeah.
So, I feel like
Which one has a
to be
higher
fair.
material cost but a lower labor cost?
So
that
I
kinda
wanna
is the same
find out
difference,
more
yeah.
if, for both of these companies to be able to be a little closer,
Yeah,
if it would even matter, I don't know if it would,
Yeah, I mean, you can glue down flooring also.
not recommended,
yeah, it's designed to float.
yeah. But in any case, so there's a few things that I wanna work out
Okay.
between these two.
And then the other element of this is also expanding the space and the
Yeah.
consideration of the additional rent.
Yeah.
So, cause we had only budgeted for so much this year.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, we're in the middle of October.
Yeah,
The lease, if we take on that extra, like I said at the last meeting, it would be courteous of us if we're not going to let the landlord know. as
well, that's
soon
why
as
this is all
possible.
encompassing, like
Yeah.
this is addressing
Yeah,
the need for a little more space, it's not a ton more space, the functionality of our police department,
yeah,
safety of the community members that go into the building as well as our police officers,
yeah,
and the other people that work there.
yeah.
And just looking at those costs and budgeting for it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, going forward. So,
Yeah.
and so we have to make sure that that money's in that budget
Yeah,
in order to,
and so that lease is contingent on whether this goes forward, really.
and at that public hearing about the potential of taking over that, so I didn't hear any concerns raised
No.
about the additional space or the additional money needed in order to, you know, lease that space. And even in conversations out in the community, there wasn't any.
I have had nothing but
Positive.
move forward with this thing.
Yeah.
That's all I've heard.
In
Yeah.
fact, you know, when we had that public meeting, they were pushing, you know, put the bathroom in there, put a shower in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And granted, you know, there were no naysayers in the room, so. Do you think it would be good to hold another public hearing just to announce what we're planning on doing and how we're planning to do it?
I don't feel like it would be necessary,
No?
but I'm not opposed to it. Just from the feedback that I've got.
Do these include that other shower
Yeah.
we're talking about?
Yeah.
They do, okay, good.
Yeah.
I feel like people, everything I've heard has been,
Same,
get it done.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's all I've heard. You know?
So I think maybe we should put a presentation together though as a whole packet, like for us to vote on, coming up in a couple weeks. And just have everything laid out, nice and crystal clear.
Lease agreement and a contract.
Exactly, yeah. And then the other issue as well, is if we're going to require a bond
that is something that would have to factor in.
Yeah, cause then, even like the quote will go up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some
to-
of them did specify.
Now, functionally, Debbie, like, I know that, so is it a part of state law that we have to require a bond? Like a performance bond?
I don't know, we heard that from someone.
Well, I saw that, I think it was NHMA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And what did they say? They said most municipalities ignore it on threshold projects
right,
Yeah,
to their detriment, is what they said.
yeah, cause
And-
that
but
bond,
it is, like was pointed out to me by former selectmen, that is what the RSA says, $36,000.
yeah,
So, what do you do?
what do we
I
do?
thought if you broke this thing into 2 payments.
Well, that's playing, that's just playing games.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's like I said the other week, though, Sean.
yeah,
The laws have become so voluminous that that's what lawyers do. They play games.
yeah,
with the words,
Because who can interpret the spirit of the law anymore when it's so voluminous? Either way,
so I guess it could really, we could work it out in the terms potentially,
I don't know if the board wants to, and
yeah.
I'm not pushing to.
Well, no, I'd like to see this go forward, it's been something that's been discussed ever
Yeah.
since I, was running and then came on, so I'm encouraged that we're at this point now. And that the project, like, it was at a certain size and then shrunk and then now,
Grew.
encompasses more.
Yeah.
But still the pricing seems right in line even, with the, the higher building costs. We wouldn't expect it to be much less.
Jason did,
Oh yeah.
he's like,
Forever
"Oh,
the
there's no
optimist.
way 50,000. So do you wanna set it for November 1st at 5:05?
Oh boy.
I have a
It is kind of disturbing how it goes.
I have a question.
It takes what it takes. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
On the Aho construction, when looking at exclusions, it says no exterior improvements. I thought we were going to add another door or something.
Not at this time.
We don't need to do that now,
We don't?
cause now we'll have the second door like in that space,
If we get the extra space.
yeah.
Now, I will say that walking through it with the chief, there's other areas that would be, he would like them. But the chief, he's just been right with me, we would need to hold the line on it. And
Yeah.
just get this done so that we have a functional area. Yeah, he's been fantastic.
Yeah,
For not wanting, as we always hear when the town wants to do something, he's not looking for a Taj Mahal.
Okay, the other thing was no patching or repainting of existing walls.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not doing a full renovation on the building, so there's most of that area where the PD is in now will be untouched. So they're not going to go in and say, hey, that wall looks like it could use a new paint job. Now, if they smash a hole in the wall, then they have to.
Yeah, I thought there was enough things being changed that, there was going to have to be some, quite a bit of painting done.
They're on all the new work, but they're not gonna repaint rooms.
and even with paint, that's something that after this major renovation goes in, like the rest of it's just cosmetic items.
Paint's not that expensive.
It didn't used to be that
Yeah,
expensive.
I know, $80 a gallon. Alright,
So I guess I would ask the board if I should focus on these 2 companies.
Being built, Monadnock building in Aho.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
notify Triple Construction and Solid Roots.
yeah, that they won't be considered in this, yeah,
Alright.
yeah, no, I think that's,
I'm okay with that too.
And I'll take up that legwork. Nearing the finish line.
getting there, you're doing a good dang job doing it.
So November 1st at 5:05?
Alright.
You think 2 weeks is good?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright,
Yeah,
You
I
gonna
know
talk to Jeff about
The
that
land,
lease?
I've already done it. He has it written up,
Perfect.
waiting to put in the date.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that's the case. Oh, never mind. I was thinking December 1st so we'd only have to pay one extra payment
yeah,
for that extra space if they start the work on December 1st.
Yeah. And that's the other thing.
Either that or we wait till
Scheduling,
January.
we don't even know what the schedule
Right,
was like. That's gonna be
Yeah.
a part of my conversation I'm
Yeah.
gonna have with both of these
okay,
companies, yeah.
yeah, it's more likely than not, nothing's gonna be able to be started, like at the soonest, it'd be like the middle, and then you run into Thanksgiving.
right,
You know, so it's kinda like a December
Yeah.
1st would be the quickest I would see anybody,
right,
you know, jumping,
so we
To
may
get
not
going.
even need that.
yeah,
But I will say this, and all of these companies were a pleasure to deal with. Yep. They were very helpful and
okay, yeah, just for clarity's sake, Monadnock Commercial Building Company, their bid came in at $63,725. Aho Construction's bid came in at $93,000 flat. And what was it? Solid Roots Construction came in at $113,630.02. And Triple Construction came in at $150,572.
To throw one more curve into the whole thing, do we want to, at the same time that we're doing whatever we're doing with that, get Monadnock security systems involved, cause if you're going to be tearing down walls, it's a lot
Yep.
easier to run.
Which was next in our packet.
Mhm.
it is, and that was
And
spawned
I was
by,
just thinking that we ought to just kind of,
yeah, that Monadnock Security next on our agenda was spawned by this, because I know that they're probably gonna wanna have some input where wires will go and I informed all the contractors that there'd be a little bit of coordination with Monadnock. But I was I felt like it wasn't a part of the project necessarily, more of a PD thing.
Yeah, 'cause it could be done after. If
That's
that's
how
what
it was
pushes
all
it out
done
of the,
after.
yeah,
if you're running wires, then you're
It'd be
drilling in the
cheaper to
holes
do
that you
it.
just finish putting in.
Yeah, so,
So if they design it at the same time that the construction's going on, it'd be a lot cleaner.
yeah.
I get that,
Well-
but then we're not touching a lot of walls either.
And the other thing that building was made for doing just that, putting in stuff in existing without moving. It's got a suspended ceiling and a full open crawl space, so you can access for wires, plumbing.
Hmm.
It's really ideal, that's why I was so optimistic the prices would be so cheap.
Guess again.
They're not too bad.
Alright, so then this quote from Monadnock Security. Are the two prices to be added together, or are they for different systems?
Add together.
Add together. One's for the controls, one's for the cameras.
Okay,
So the control would be like the CPU.
Door contacts. power supplies, card readers. They're listed below. This is the access. This is the camera.
Okay, so we're
Before
looking
we
at
leave, before we
about-
leave this
okay.
renovation, is it possible that the town could leave a dump truck? And these prices for disposal of debris could come off of the contracts?
I don't see why not.
What do you think Peter would say about that?
Using a dump truck for it? Or do-
And
or
having the
you-
town,
Or you just wanna have a dumpster?
well, having the town remove the demo debris.
We don't have any dumpsters that we could leave, you know, because they're owned by Shaw,
Right.
so that's why I'd come.
But it would save us a little money, cause
It would save how much?
I don't know if it's been, what is it, 10-yard dumpster go for now?
We can, let's just ask Peter.
I'd like to know if I could tell them you can take that out of your estimate.
He'd probably say it was fine if we approved his, the trailer. Leave the trailer over there.
Well, that trailer's, that's gonna be a flatbed that he's getting.
Yeah, no, I know, yeah. Easy to load stuff up on and take over, you know, day by day. Alright, yeah,
So for now, tell them they could.
Yeah, I mean, if you need a dump trailer, I'll be glad to donate mine for the use.
oh, you have a dump trailer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there we go,
There you go.
you're halfway there.
Alright. Alright, sorry for the interruption.
Oh, that's fine,
It's good for 12,000 pounds, so.
thank you, Lou. Alright, yeah, so the security system upgrades look like about $17,000 it comes to.
Pretty close.
And they gave us a discount.
Yeah, pretty significant too.
Yeah.
Bob's pretty good about that when it comes to stuff local to town.
Now with this, since we have this, we could put it into the budget for next year.
The only thing that would change if we didn't go forward with this.
Yeah, Yep.
That's the only,
which there's
But
only,
if we know
there's only
why
so
not
many
to-
hurdles. Yeah, in 2 weeks, we're gonna decide whether or not we're gonna go forward with it and if we have the funding structure for it. So we can't, you know, tell them to go ahead with this, but we can certainly keep it, and then with all the things that you had said, I feel like it'd be, you know, fairly easy to like potentially have it done after, cause I don't know what the NADNOC's timeline is either.
Well, if we run into funding problems, is there anything from ARPA funds that we could use?
Yeah, well, not, yeah, we could use the money for that, but I don't want to,
I know you don't want to,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying that if we need to, you know, we had what, 75,000 from the police detail budget, if I remember correctly.
yeah,
And if we're gonna, obviously it's gonna be more than that. So I mean, if we need to take an extra $20,000 or $30,000, is that much out of the,
yeah, that is an interesting discussion because we also have been understaffed at the PD for more than half the year.
Yeah,
And so
so
there's
that,
money in it, and I think I brought this up last time.
Yeah.
It's distasteful to do that, but if you asterisk it and say,
this is what we used it for
this
and
is
why.
what it was for.
right,
Yeah,
when we
Then-
create a new line item, so we're not necessarily taking it out of that line.
no, you can't create a line item right now, cause that budget is solid.
Yeah.
like those
it's-
line items stay where they are until, like, and that's where the dollar comes in, like for the line item, you can't just make up line items after a budget's been voted on.
Right,
Like it would have to be a part of like the budget that our legislative body, the community votes on in March.
right,
So that's why there'd have to be an asterisk or like as a part of the communication, like in this project, that it's
Right.
crystal clear, that everybody understands.
And
And
I
it was a
think,
one-time cost.
and I think it goes without saying, I'd prefer not to use the ARPA funds for this, but.
Yep.
that's why I looked at you when you said that, I was like, oh. You didn't even
Yeah, I was
blink,
putting them
he
into a
didn't even
corner.
blink.
No,
And I'm not sure where the budgets sit right now, but I haven't heard any screams from any departments that they're, you know,
Yeah,
gonna be over budget. I know there's some lines that, you know, were over expended, but their overall budget's good.
Yep.
So, alright. I'd say we're 3/4 of the way there, gentlemen.
So this one, what did we decide on this?
What's that?
Should we respond to Monadnock Security or we just sit tight for 2
We're just gonna
weeks?
sit tight.
2 weeks.
Yep.
Do it all on the first
and do we just wanna make that as one complete
package.
packet between?
We're gonna keep it separate for right now.
Okay, right.
This has a line item for, in the PD budget, I
Right.
believe.
Okay.
It would fall.
Well, cause we're gonna be using different funding sources potentially anyways, Lou. So just to keep it all separate and clear, it's two separate, cause the cameras don't need to be done just because this is being done, like, and it can be addressed after if we need to. We're just making sure that the money is there, and that's not what I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to, right?
It's a
Yeah.
possibility.
Yeah, keep it as clean as
So on
you
the first,
possibly
we'll,
can.
Right.
so on the
Good word.
first, you'll decide all of it. Whether or not to wait till, to put this in the budget for next year,
Yeah.
or do it now, depending on how much we can spend.
Exactly, yeah,
Okay.
and we'll have a good idea, you know, and chief will be able to say, I'm sure you can forecast out the 2 months and come up with a rough number of how much money is gonna be left in his
Right.
budget,
Mhm.
so we need to get that from him.
Yeah,
So I can leave Dennis Howell alone.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah,
Let
he's
him
on, he's
stick to
he's on
his
next
tasks.
year's budget,
right,
yeah.
Okay.
Gentlemen, okay with moving forward?
Yes,
I just have
sure.
one question, are you doing this, am I doing this, are we gonna
Which?
do a joint project? Getting the lease agreement, the contract, the
Oh,
funding,
joint
is
is-
the bond
Joint would be
required?
welcome.
Okay,
It's been a long summer.
okay,
So that we actually means we.
yeah, Wow.
We.
Yeah.
and by we, I mean you. I love that.
Alright, so moving along, we're gonna be discussing, the possibility of appointing our, select board member Lou Alvarez to the ZBA.
As an
Debbie,
alternate.
well, yeah, as an alternate, but I have a feeling that your alternate status will, be changed quickly,
Why?
because they need more voting members. Yeah, so the whole alternate thing is, to me, is just another game of words.
Okay,
Did you understand it to be that way?
no,
Okay.
So part of it is like you can't abstain, because why be on the board if you're gonna abstain, right?
Yeah,
To me, like you either vote or don't bother doing it.
so with the information that
The only
Debbie,
place it really comes into play is if there is something that somebody disagrees with the zoning board and takes it up to the select board for clarification. Or if something happens here that that somebody disagrees with and takes it to the zoning board in order to try to have it overridden.
which we find ourselves in that very scenario right now,
Mm-hmm.
with everything to do with Silver Scone
Mm-hmm.
teas. So we're actually living that scenario. It's not just something that may happen, it's something that we're working through currently.
Right, and
Well, it
that's,
hasn't
and
quite
that's something that
What's
I
that?
will need to sit back on the zoning board.
So I was gonna say, it hasn't quite happened.
What do you mean? We're in the throes of it right now.
But not with
Because
zoning.
Well,
we were
They're two
approached
separate
initially,
issues.
well, we were approached initially, and then it was put with the ZBA where it belonged.
Mhm.
And then now there was an element that we do have some oversight over,
Mhm.
and that's what we're considering now, is the review of the issuing of the driveway permit. So it all kind of, even though we're able to separate that, having you sit on both boards is the very scenario. To me, it's exactly the danger, not danger, I don't wanna use that term, but it is that scenario of possible conflicts.
Except that they are two independent, separate cases. So because the zoning board is dealing with everything other than the movement of, or the part with that area being expanded, or the driveway entrance being expanded out.
But you do
That's
see
the
the
driveway.
correlation between the
That's
two,
the
like I'm
driveway
sitting
permit.
at this table here on the select board next week and making a decision like based on that aspect of the driveway.
Mhm.
And then in a week from then, sitting potentially as a part of the ZBA to hear deliberations or making considerations or decisions on the other aspects. It's not that clear cut because you're still like involved in the overall discussions.
It's the same portion
But
of the
so,
customer.
but that's the very problem like presented in this, is that it just draws question to the two things. So it's not that it can't be done. So that's what I'm just interested in. You had initially said that you'd essentially recuse yourself from the ZBA aspect, like you wouldn't actually sit to hear anything like as a part of the ZBA discussion, and that you'd stay with this board, right?
In the event
You
of
know-
a conflict.
In the event of conflict, I'm with this board.
So you wouldn't be,
I am nothing but an alternate over there, that if they need a person to fill in the minimum requirement of 3 people in order to hear something, that's when I may get involved, cause Sue's also an alternate,
okay,
right?
yeah,
The way it sits right now.
yeah,
Alright, so, in that case, I stay out of that part of the argument. I just want to make sure that if they get anything new coming in, any request, they've got a full panel of 3 people that can accept an application. If at any point, anybody here has, any doubts of, what I'm doing over there, I'm out of there.
Yeah, and I think this, in our handout here, discussing the RSAs, this sentence here makes me lean towards appointing Lou, which is recommended that in fairness to applicants, when a ZBA cannot designate alternates in time to have a full board present, an applicant be given an opportunity to reschedule a hearing to a time when a full board can participate. All of that aspect
yeah,
of the zoning board seems to be Lou's motivation, and seems to me like a legitimate, just, serving on the Heritage Commission and seeing it's really hard to get people to sign up.
and I can appreciate that, it's just the two like Heritage Commission to the ZBA is not
There's
the
not
same, yeah.
You just wait till next year.
Why?
I'm
Just
just
wait.
giving you fair warning.
Just have a heads up.
What's going on
I'm
with
kidding.
Heritage Commission?
No.
You're just gonna have to wait till next year to find out.
Holy smokes.
Yep.
So you guys gonna be
Buckle up, Sean.
presiding over things?
Put on your 5-point harness.
No, I know that's not, and I
Yeah.
only use that to say that I feel like there is a need in this case, much more so than the Heritage Commission, that these
Mhm.
meetings take place every month.
Hmm.
And I am only looking at that for our residents in town,
Okay.
that they have access to this meeting, because boy, have we seen how things can take forever.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And that's how I kind of.
And we meet weekly.
And
And it still takes forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
can you be there for, just to find out if, what am I trying to say? You know how they have to go before the zoning board twice, so you have to be there to accept the application, and then is the hearing. So can you just do to accept the application part of it and not do the hearing part of it?
It depends on, when it gets to the hearing, if they only have 2 people show up,
Right,
they don't have a quorum.
right.
But if something that's currently in front of us, then they'd have to just continue that hearing.
Yeah.
To another
So we
day.
wouldn't be able to do it
Till
anyway.
another time,
So we have that understanding.
yes.
Okay.
Oh, no problem there.
Yep.
Okay, but I see that the driveway permit and the other part, are 2 very separate, issues. And I don't see where you're ganging them together because it's the same location. Those are 2, in my opinion, those are 2 very separate issues. And what happens is I just don't vote at that point, or, you know,
But if
ensure
they
that
need
they've
you
got a
to.
quorum, and then if they have an issue with that quorum where they've got 2 other people, that disagree with each other, then, you know, it just defaults down to, that they, that it doesn't get approved.
No. Well,
Because you have to have a majority vote, and if you've got 1 versus 1.
no, I know, it doesn't, they would continue it at that point. It's not that it wouldn't be approved, it'd be
Yeah, and that's what I would
continued.
recommend to them.
Yeah, it would have to, and we're really talking about something that is hotly contested. That's what we're talking about, which this is the first that I've seen
Yeah.
in my long time sitting in this chair.
Well, that's why it's interesting, you know,
It
and then
is,
even the
yeah.
appointment to the ZBA is gonna come with some scrutiny. So it's just,
Yeah.
as long as everything's out there and we're considering it and having that dialogue,
And I would tell them that, you know, when it comes to that, try to make sure that they've got either another alternate or that they've got a quorum, so that I don't have to partake in that part of the discussion. That's all.
And then-
I'm looking more, I'm not trying to focus in on one case. I'm
mhm,
just trying to focus in on, there's a lot of people going to be approaching for variances simply because the, you know, the new building type stuff is gonna come up starting in March. So people are going to start bringing the paperwork in January, February.
For what?
For what? For any variances that they want for springtime construction.
But why do they have to go to the ZBA?
I'm sorry, what?
Why would they have to go to the ZBA
If
for
they
construction?
need,
well, I received a phone call today from that I have to get you information, somebody that's gonna need to apply to the ZBA. So, just to
Oh.
kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a plan going forward, they're going through the steps initially, instead of trying to fill the gaps after.
Good call.
Yep, and that's what I said, that was a good decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that preparation aspect, yeah,
Mhm.
I do understand. So,
I was elected for this position,
yeah,
so that's my primary concern.
And the selectmen can remove appointed members off of committees.
One selectman can't.
No, I know.
A board of one is a board of none.
I like that.
yeah, has to present an interesting issue with this.
What's that?
I guess it makes sense to have a 5-member select board. Cause we'd essentially
does.
be having, like
It
2,
really does.
yeah.
Yeah.
Alright,
No
so at
thanks.
any rate, I
I
digress.
couldn't keep up with 5 of you.
No, you know, it gets tough if, you know, 2 of us need to take a day off or get sick or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've run a few meetings by myself. It's fun. You should try it, Lou.
So with this one, I'd like to hear a motion,
Would you
and
do
if
one?
it's seconded, have the opportunity to have a little discussion before the actual vote is called
I
for.
will make a motion to appoint Lou Alvarez as an alternate member of the zoning board.
I'll second. And now, like, just to reiterate in this section, that you'll be an alternate, but not as a voting member of the ZBA during any of the Silver Scones conversations or decisions.
Agreed.
Okay. Any other discussion?
So
Hearing none.
I'll put forward that motion as amended by chairman.
Okay. Thank you. Alright. All in favor of Lou's appointment to the ZBA, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
This is your
Abstentions? So I guess you abstain from that?
Okay, I'll abstain, yeah.
Alright, so
Oh,
Lou
so
has
it's
been
not-
I was
appointed
just
to the
gonna-
Z, yeah,
You
Exclude
can't
my-
vote on that.
Exclude myself on it because I can't vote it.
yeah, no, I know, I just,
So is it unanimous or
yeah, it's unanimous, 2 to,
wasting ink?
You guys are using your training.
alright, sir,
Thank you.
enjoy the rodeo.
Debbie, will you let Wendy know?
Yep,
Thank you.
And in that call, please have her give me a call
yep.
or email.
What a nice
Unrelated to that.
What a nice segue.
Just having trouble getting getting a hold of her. I know everybody's busy. Alright, so now we have old new business. You wanna lead us through what you got? Cause I'm seeing
Oh,
notes here on my sheet.
that I wrote on yours, but not on mine.
Or mine.
Well, 'cause he usually announces it ahead of time.
Okay,
So
yeah, but it's not lining up with our packet. So I wasn't sure if you had a different.
No.
Alright,
Okay.
so DPW
So-
quotes is listed number 1.
Sorry.
Yep.
Mark that down my red list. Okay, so we have the trailer for $11,000. Which, if you guys wanna approve that, I have the original for one of these to sign.
Okay.
That was the trailer he was talking about a couple weeks ago. The Mohawk lifts, he got the revised quote, which the price stayed the same, and that price is good through October 27th.
Okay.
And then he also got the quote for the mowing machine for $121,000. And he wanted to, you get them all out of the capital reserve,
So there's enough in his capital reserve.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
there's a lot in there,
No, I
What
just,
happens with
Yeah.
Was it 493,000
something like that, yeah,
at the beginning?
yeah.
well, what happens with the anticipated grader failure?
That got repaired. It turned out not to be as bad as it was. Basically, there's a chain drive on the axle, and that part let go, and they were able to repair that.
Oh. So they think there's many years of service left.
Yeah, and
thing just keeps chugging
I don't know
along.
about many years, because he did
It's a
say
big
that
jazz of money.
for doing the roads, because we have to crown them,
Hmm.
that a 14-foot wide grader would be much better than the 18-foot wide that they currently have.
Wait, what?
So smaller would be better
Yeah.
in this case. Isn't that just a change of a blade or
No,
no?
because you've got the width of the wheelbase. Like, wheelbase is normally longitudinal, but the lateral width changes.
Okay.
And we're good on all the other equipment. It sounds like we're taking a substantial amount out of there now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
More
I
than
mean, the only
half
thing
of-
that was bought prior to this was the dump truck,
Yeah.
so that was 60,000
Or 130.
out of 400 and, well, I thought the other 60,000 was coming out of,
Mm-mm.
No, you keep
No.
saying it.
I know, you keep
And
saying
the more you
it.
say it, doesn't make it true.
I was gonna say,
Or happen.
he's hoping for it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Say it often enough and people.
Yeah.
that's been done. Just saying.
Yeah.
Okay,
Alright. So do you guys
So that's 130 plus 121, that's 250, and then
98,
98, another
350.
350.
And
Okay,
then the 11,000.
yeah, so about
So
350.
365.
We rounded.
360.
Yeah.
So then that'll leave how much in the capital reserve? Would it leave enough?
490, that's 130.
like
Is
100,000 left?
this a normal thing that happens here?
Yeah, that's what it's there for.
Well, no, there hasn't
First time for
been.
me.
It's first time for me, and I'm wondering how much.
Well, no, we've utilized it, and now I'm even more happy that we
Will.
decided to do the lease purchase on the other, the loader, because that left the money in there, like for instances like this, like so that we could, get this other equipment.
Was there a plan on using this tractor to mow this year?
No, that'll probably be.
But the price is gonna be more next, that's the problem,
Maybe.
striking.
As we have unfortunately
You wanna
found out on
gamble?
a number of occasions so far.
Are you
That's
feeling lucky?
So the
That's what
trouble,
life is all
so the
about.
trouble, like with the mower for me, this is why I was seeing if you wanted to take it out of the additional block grant money.
Oh,
I think, but I don't know what he's thinking of utilizing, like for that money. Like I'm not sure, like because I know that we need a lot more gravel.
yeah,
Yeah. Was that it only costs about, or was costing about $6,000 a year to have them come in and do what they were doing to keep, like everything back on the roads. And I don't know if this other implement is gonna get some of the, tree branches too, or if it's literally just for the roadside aspect of it.
It's got a 21-foot boom.
Yeah, so they can
Should
probably
be
reach right
fine.
out there.
I don't know, I saw one that.
Well, no, like so.
was
If
one
I
of the
just
trees
finish that
also.
point, he's had difficulty scheduling people
right,
too.
Yeah.
So then that, with everything else, what was 5,000 or 6,000 may now very well be 10,000 or 12,000,
right,
and then it makes this 120 look a lot different.
Still a 10-year payoff.
Yeah, but then we can do it every year instead of it not being done, and they can, make sure that all the roads, like all the brush and everything's kept back where it should be, so that people can see around the roads.
Yeah, it
the
really
corners.
hasn't been done in 2 or 3 years now.
and that was due to, you know, difficulty finding someone to do it.
Mm.
So there is a
We have
value
that.
to it,
We'll have the same issue with staffing.
right?
We still need to find someone to do it.
Yep.
Well, I make a motion that, that if there's a shortage of personnel, that the selectmen learn to drive the tractor and go mow.
You know, I talked with a former selectman at the polls, and he said when he signed up, he went out for a week with the highway department.
Yeah.
As a co-pilot.
Wow,
Yeah. Just to see, yeah, what it was like.
good to get.
I retract the motion.
One
Or,
week.
or someone will hook it up on their airplane.
Yeah. Do you have a CDL?
CDL?
Yeah.
No, but,
Oh.
I wouldn't mind getting one.
Yeah. We all may need to.
Right?
So it seems to me like the tractor is a little bit, with a
Questionable?
10-year payoff, how long will the tractor last? The mower will be
10-year payoff.
probably good for, well, I'm just saying if it's 10 grand a year.
Yeah.
What?
Like if the mowing costs $10,000.
Oh.
Yeah. And then.
And then we're putting someone on it for what, 2 weeks? You got one worker tied up.
We've got about 50 miles worth of road, so going in both directions, it's 100 miles worth of mowing.
Yeah, not all of them will need.
Yep. No, I think it's worthwhile.
You think
I
so?
got this. Oh yeah, yep. And did he articulate where he wants all of this to come out of the capital reserve?
He said. I asked
Okay.
him.
All right.
I said everything out of the capital reserve, and he said, "Yep."
Well, he's retiring, so.
I don't know, he's gonna leave the next guy in.
Yeah, right. With nothing.
Yeah.
No.
Well, a new fleet,
I
Yeah,
know.
right.
that might be more
The next guy
desirable
won't
than
need
a.
anything.
Uh,
Look at all the new toys we have.
So I'll make a motion to accept the bid for Mohawk lifts of $98,809.25, with funding to come out of the Highway Capital Reserve account. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Oh, you're not gonna put them all in one?
No.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye.
Did you vote?
Yeah.
Oh.
I said aye.
Debbie, let me know when you're caught up.
Go.
Alright. Make a motion to accept the quote from HP Fairfield, New Hampshire, for the mowing implement, for $121,000. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And this
Also
one,
to come out of the capital
oh,
reserve.
also to come out of the capital reserve account. And this one, being that I'm very good friends with Todd, I'll wait to hear a motion on the trailer. Is there,
Wanna make a motion?
I don't think I need to recuse myself, but like I'm very good friends with Todd Valancourt, so I'm not gonna put this forth before the
Oh,
board.
okay, I'll make the
Yeah.
motion, that we go ahead with the trailer.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yeah, with the funds to come out of the capital reserve account for $11,000.
Now, Lou, you don't have to lend your trailer.
No, just your flat bed.
That's a
And
flatbed.
if you wanna truck the stuff out of your, PD renovation, then, as I said, it's available if you want it.
I don't have that sort of time. I was more thinking of utilizing the highway department to save.
It'll be easier to load a trailer than it would to load a dump truck.
Good, yeah. But I'm thinking like a dumpster cost is right up around $1,500 or so.
I don't think they're that high.
A lot of motions tonight.
Well, it'll be 1,500 with the getting rid of the trash also,
Yeah.
because it's gotta go out.
That's what I'm thinking, and
Allocation.
probably if that's the case, there's also a markup on the quote, so if we could eliminate that, it may help us, so.
Does somebody wanna sign these?
Yep.
There's one of them that needs a whole bunch of information, so I can fill it in if you wanna just sign it.
Okay.
Yes.
Pardon my coughing, I just got my flu shot the other day.
Oh,
Sorry to hear
are you contagious?
No,
Sorry for the cough. I just.
Is it related? Is it a side effect?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't get a swollen arm or anything.
So with the
I didn't feel
email,
it at all.
should I do .gov or .org still? Just org.
Yeah, do .org for now, cause we haven't
Are we
moved everything.
Are we doing .gov yet, or?
Not yet.
Yeah, it's kind of. And if you see
There's
online.
a whole bunch of things that have to, Greg's coming in on Friday.
Oh, can you make yourself a note about, I guess you can wait until things swap over, if it's gonna happen anytime in the next month or so. Sean brought up that, the ability to select a selectman, for a direct, for people to send a message directly to a selectman from the website.
Okay. Link your email.
Yeah, both of the two of them are in blue, mine is still black.
Oh, you don't have a hyperlink?
No.
I'll talk to Sue about that. She's our website guru.
There's that.
Do you guys ever get anything with that?
I've had a few.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'm glad. I get some weird junk stuff sometimes.
Oh yeah,
like,
I do get a lot, well, not a lot.
Strange
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, town clerk did too.
Yeah. It's like, oddly enough, like the prince from Zimbabwe.
Yeah, oh,
It's strange.
My
like,
administrator
like they even
email?
hit that.
I win more things and I am.
Well, no, so it's not just that email, it's actually through so someone had to go on and click
Oh,
and then
yeah.
do that whole
There's
crap.
gotta be some kind of
Yeah.
bot that does that or something.
Yeah.
It's weird. Okay,
Alright, so
is
next you had on there the video 1999 warrant,
Yes.
Doyle
So,
letter, Boynton letter.
yep. So, Becky gave me the 1999 town report, Article 28, to see if the town will vote to resume the regular videotaping of the selectmen meeting to replay on public access channel, blah, 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 blah. Just so everyone's aware, there was a warrant article and it passed 668 to 386. So, but that is just for our selectmen meetings. It doesn't say anything about any other meeting. So, but she wanted me to give you guys that.
Do you recall why that came up in 1999 and why was it stopped at some point?
Apparently, yeah, they were recording it with like a video camera, and then the selectmen didn't want that to happen, so they stopped it. So then they said, well, I guess we'll just put a warrant article together. So they did, and it passed. So
Okay.
they had to resume. Yeah. And then there's a letter from Bob Boynton. Do you want to read it all, or
I didn't have the opportunity to go through it.
do you want me to read it aloud, or basically the gist of it is, every board has, has to ensure both the greatest possible public access to the actions, discussion, and records of all public bodies and their accountability to the people. So, all meetings that can be, should be videoed.
Yeah.
And I meant to bring this up too. Did you know he was the town's first videographer? Bob Boynton?
Yeah, he had mentioned that, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Bob's been right there at the beginning of a lot of things.
I know.
Yeah.
yeah. So, and then Becky Doyle also of the, video committee also wrote a letter, mentioning Bob Boynton's stuff too. And,
He
basically
addresses
same
some,
thing. Yeah.
well, Bob in his letter asked if he should write another
Right,
petitioned warrant article, and it was addressed by
right,
Becky Doyle saying there's no need,
right.
because there is actually a policy in place, which Bob apparently wasn't aware of. The larger point to it, I think, is
Well, I don't think there's a policy to my knowledge.
the video, we reviewed the video committee's policy here,
Oh,
Yeah.
the video committee's policy,
Yeah. and we gave them the go-ahead with it.
Right.
And I think Becky explains that
Right.
that policy was pretty much taken from
Right,
the state in this.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So all of
Yes,
this,
in there.
yeah, like is in
basically,
support of and showing the authority over recordings in
Right.
the town office
Yep.
or over public meetings.
Yep.
So I don't think that that's in question at all.
right,
But it is by some residents.
Really?
In this light of saying, hey,
Yeah,
why was that meeting shut off? And I've had someone come to me with that as well.
wondering why it was shut
Why
off.
it was shut
Right.
off.
Yeah, but
And
not
they
that they
wanted-
would not support it.
No,
They'd rather it
They
be
want it.
In
recorded.
fact, I did have a little back and forth with Mr. Boynton, and I brought up to him what I've kind of voiced here, is I feel like there are some aspects of, and especially like live broadcast,
Yeah.
that haven't been fully weighed, such as a lunatic coming in here. There's no chance to scrub before it's out in the public. And I think I summarized my email to Bob saying it's kind of raw,
Yeah,
and I suppose it's life in the 21st century, unfiltered, where before there was always, and this, when I read these two letters and I see that people opposed the video committee because they wanted to hide stuff, we need a video committee, if that's the attitude.
yeah,
But my take on it, just giving the flip side is, and people who've been involved in town may feel free to laugh, but it seems like this board and the meetings would have more posterity and more of a formality to them. Without the video, and especially with live broadcasting, and we've been fortunate that nobody's taken advantage of this, and I hope no one does,
yeah.
because it is a weakness.
The live
The live
aspect.
the live aspect. So if there's an incident that took place here, it's out there.
So can you give an example of where that would be not useful or be at a detriment to the
Like a
community?
crazed gun.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like obscenities or somebody coming in and mouthing off about another person in town or all of them things, a word loosed in this room literally hits the whole town immediately.
Yeah, no, I can
Are they
understand.
Are they actually sending out live on?
Right now, we're being
Yeah.
live broadcast.
Okay, because
Channel
I thought
22.
it was just going out on, after it was recorded.
No, it's been
Live
live since
stream.
last year.
That was, yeah,
But it's also going up.
Recently.
They're all on YouTube.
Correct.
but there is no editing.
Which is good. I feel like that's
Right.
There's
That's
a
there's a
benefit.
positive
Which is the way it
aspect
should
to
be.
it.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm just saying. I think there is also a negative. We're always warned about liabilities, and I wonder if this has a potential liability. And I'm not so concerned with somebody coming in suing the town, but I know, and everybody knows how it is when your reputation is assaulted.
Yeah.
And that's what my big concern about.
Yeah, I can
live
understand that.
broadcasting.
Like so, like to that point though, I feel like there's a higher level of decorum, that's presented in this room because of the video aspect,
You may be right.
and where people are less, apt to just throw out nonsense or to speak against someone without, substantiating.
I think that holds true for the majority of the population.
Yeah. Yeah, and then even like in that small percentage, if someone did come in and make a statement like that, it'd probably be viewed negatively against that person.
Right.
So
That's
I guess it's
besides
not-
the point.
Yeah, well, no, I don't understand the drawback to it. We had chatted about this prior, where just that aspect of it being recorded or even live streamed may prevent someone from stepping up to sit on a board or a committee. Which I'm sympathetic. Like I understand that aspect, but at the same time, there's accountability to it, and there's a higher value, to have it live streamed and recorded and out there for the community than that potential of making a wrong statement or doing something, speaking out against somebody. That's all I can think of is that if someone from this
Yeah.
board chose to say something against somebody and then it sparked up a big
Not even
controversy,
this board. I'm
but-
saying somebody can come in,
yeah.
and that's
Alright.
and everything has its pros and cons.
Well,
And
you
I'm
know,
all about transparency, but I feel like it's something that's real
Yeah.
and not to be ignored. And whereas with the recorded, which the people voted to have it recorded,
Yep.
in that case, you would have the ability to go in and preserve somebody's reputation, or if, I don't know, a streaker walked through.
Jeez, listen to you with the what ifs
I know.
tonight.
I know, right?
No,
And-
no, but do you not?
No, I know. I'm just
Have you
teasing
ever
you
looked
because
on- have
you
you ever
tease
looked
me
on
sometimes
YouTube?
about the those disaster scenarios. That's why I was trying to stay away from the word disaster because
No,
we
but
get
it-
caught up in if this is gonna happen, then we need to.
But
do
I
this.
believe
Yeah.
what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
Sean,
Yeah.
happens all the time. It does. Go on YouTube. You look at it does.
I know, but
Look at
this isn't we don't utilize that for that type of. That's what those people are utilizing YouTube for. Is
The drama.
You're
Yeah.
saying no, but people get bombed. They hijack, right? Boards had Zoom meetings hijacked.
yeah,
So
they
there-
were at
there's
at the planning board.
yeah. So there's this element is not something like, oh, the Russians are coming. No, it's within.
that's a funny.
It's within the realm of
Yeah.
reality in every town in this
Okay.
country, and that's all.
Yeah, but I guess the benefit of that, being hijacked during our live. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And we haven't
yeah.
had an issue with it, and I
Yeah.
hope that the decorum remains in this room always.
as long as as we have, I don't know if we need to notice it to, all the public members that walk in, that the meeting is being recorded.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Well, we had talked about
Yeah.
just that fact of putting out the email blast to everybody and then having a sign at the door that says once you walk in, even the public, like right at that front entries, it doesn't have to be to this room, but anybody could be recorded in this space at any time.
Right.
And the truth is,
And excuse me for a second.
Yeah.
no, go ahead.
And I would also like it that if we are having a public meeting and that there are members in the public, that we start the meeting with an advisement that this meeting is being recorded and will be on television, just in case
Yeah.
somebody forgets.
To me, it's common courtesy.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay, so can we add that to our agenda, Debbie?
Mm-hmm.
And make the suggestion that all the other boards and committees add it to their agenda as well? And the
Yeah.
agendas will be available for everyone?
And because of this, one of the residents pointed out to me, the RSA, the right to know laws, very plain. They allow recording of all public meetings.
Encourage it.
And
Any-
encourage, and so that person told me if that ever happens, I'm pulling out my phone. And
Well,
I'm
you
like,
can.
Yeah, you
have
can.
the right to sit there
You
and
can
record on your
record
phone
every
or
meeting, so
Yeah.
it doesn't even matter if a video committee member is not available to tape a meeting. Anyone in that room has that right to
It's a
tape.
public meeting for a
Yeah.
reason.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's why I think the sign is good.
So you want all
So
bids
I don't think we have to go crazy, it's just,
No,
yeah,
announce
yeah.
at the beginning of each meeting.
No, not announce it, but it should be like on their agenda. Like I'm not gonna announce that this meeting's being recorded every Tuesday night.
Should okay.
I don't believe
Like-
it's
no,
necessary.
I don't either, but I think if
Add it
there's
to
a,
the bottom here.
Yeah,
like,
just
like
that bottom,
this?
yep, that
oh,
little,
I see,
Okay.
like
on
right,
the
like the
agenda.
note, yeah, like as a part of your note structure,
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
good idea,
All right.
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. And then just have 2 signs or 3 signs at the entrances to the building.
I asked Becky about that the other day. She said she's working on it.
Oh, good.
And that's, the courtesy aspect, I guess.
Yep.
Though not necessary, but we can certainly do that. Alright, we ready to
This
move on
meeting
from
may
that?
be recorded.
There was a request put in by Becky Doyle that we consider disciplining the ZBA.
Well, that's another, I don't wanna get into speaking against other boards and,
Right.
Oh,
That would be.
I'm working to make contact, with Wendy, that's why I asked Debbie to, like in her correspondence, just to say, hey, I was trying to get a hold of her and, take it that route first, conversation,
yeah.
What was next on my list?
NHMA conference donation requests,
No, 2 separate things.
oh, okay,
So the NHMA conference is November. I have it on my
15th, 16th, or
15th,
16th, 17th?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
It's 2 days. It's in downtown Manchester, the DoubleTree, I believe. They have it every year. It's $170 for the 2 days. If you go there, it's $160 if you want to do it virtual. Because so I didn't sign anybody up because you have to pick your classes, the classes that you want to take. So I didn't know if anybody wants to go and.
I definitely wanna go, I just haven't had a chance to
Yeah.
go through and,
Yeah, I definitely want to go too.
I'd like to see
Very
what
informative.
the classes are gonna be.
So if you go onto the NHMA website
Okay,
and it'll say the conference, you click on it and don't register, cause I'll register all of us, so we can pay all together. And just, you can see the drop downs of all the classes and just let me know which ones you want and I'll check them off when I do it.
alright.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, donation requests.
Yes. So on the warrant article every year, I've been collecting these.
Oh, charitable donation, yeah.
Yes. Sorry, hang on. So we have a bunch, thanking us from last year's stuff. Chief Abel gave us this one for the Child Advocacy Center, which we normally donate about $275. He's requesting $400 that we
So
donate.
all of
Put on
this,
the warrant article.
yeah, we should have as a part of our warrant article discussion,
Okay.
like that whole, not now, cause
Okay.
we're not, we'll spend time on it and then
Yeah.
still need to spend the same time on it in a month and a half or
Okay.
2 months.
So maybe I'll make like a spreadsheet. The name of the place, how
Yep.
much they're requesting, how much we gave last year.
Yeah, exactly, and usually we'll look at that, like the warrant articles, like year to year, and if there's any adjustments that we'd like to make.
Okay.
Cause we had started asking for more information about how many New Ipswich residents were served by each different charitable organization. So that weighs heavily, at least in my decision,
Yeah.
like if they include that or not.
Okay.
We always kinda shoot a little bit low, it seems like on, like what they request when they do include that information, so.
Okay.
Yep.
Alright, so I think that was it, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Lou, any old new business?
No.
Jason?
Yeah, we have a little bit on the Heritage Commission, but you're gonna have to wait till next year. We have talked about taking on smaller projects because all along the Heritage Commission has been trying to get that town hall going, but it's a Goliath to do that, reopen the old town hall. And so there has been some movement going forward. We looked at some of the inventory of items that would fall under the Heritage Commission's purview. One is the old clock, which we talked about a little bit a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the other ones were the fencing around the War Monument by Appleton. And we have a old fire truck inside the antique fire brigade house, and so we're hoping to get some traction and take care of these little things and bring them back to life for the town.
Now, since you bring up that, like the old fire truck.
Yeah.
I know this is a bigger scope project, but the building that houses
Is another.
that fire truck, I was noticing that the chimney is pretty much, degraded, and it's just falling apart, like, so the bricks are just coming down right now.
As well as the rest of the building.
Yeah, and I don't know what other damage was in there.
We've
Weren't
not
there
walked.
two things? There was a fire truck and something else in there?
Yeah, there's an old pumper.
Hand
The
pumper.
pumper, yeah.
Hand pumper. And them used to be a part of parades.
Yeah.
So that building was a part of discussions of potential, like putting it on to an auction
Yeah.
list.
This
Because-
is where the Heritage Commission would play a role to the select board
Yeah.
if we were to.
So some of
consider
those
that.
older structures, if you wouldn't mind, taking a look at what might have historical value to the town, what may not, and then we're not putting any renovation money towards any of those buildings. I know there's a couple more, but again, just releasing them, from the town's hold and allowing, private business to go in or an owner and do the renovations and get it back on the tax rolls, cause right now it's
Yeah.
just a sheer liability.
I think that's the only building that I'm aware of. We have the old schoolhouse, but that's being used, I think, partially by the cemetery committee as storage.
Okay.
It was brought up at one of our meetings that possibly that old fire truck could fit in that. old schoolhouse. So
Okay.
there was them items. There's also a funeral hearse in the Barrett House
Yeah,
that the town
horse-drawn
owns.
hearse that the town
Okay.
owns.
Yeah, a horse-drawn hearse.
So it might be exciting, like just to see maybe from the Heritage Commission, through warrant article or whatnot, put it before the voters to see if they wanna put some money into these things.
Funny
Like
you
when-
should say that.
when you
It
get
is,
into,
because you're just segueing me.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
Because
Alright.
we talked about it, and the problem we have is things move slow. And so we talked about, hey, let's do a fundraiser, and it was brought to our attention. If you don't use that money by the end of the year, it gets
for a
used.
fundraiser?
So, like, supposing we raise some funds, there's no account for us to put it in
Right.
to be able to use it next year. So it would go into the general fund and disappear at the end of the year. So we would like to have on our warrant, the Heritage Commission, and it would be up to the select board whether or not it's part of the original package.
They can't deny it
Oh,
if you present
So if
Warrant
Fran
article.
presents,
It's a warrant article.
it
it's
has
a
to
warrant
go on the
article
ballot.
to start a revolving fund for the Heritage Commission with $20,000 seed money.
Yeah.
And that has not been officially voted on by the Heritage Commission yet. But it's,
I just wrote a rough draft.
Yeah,
yeah, and so there's one thing, wait till next year.
okay, well, no, it's exciting, like the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that gives some life to some of these projects.
And the
that have
reason
just
we
been
came up with-
lingering. Yeah,
That number is probably to restore the old town hall, we're looking $500,000.
Yeah.
I would think tops, but you see how good my estimating skills are. But, so we'd wanna do it through grants and fundraising.
Right.
And it would be historical societies that would be giving the grants. And they want an architectural study done.
mm-hmm.
And the previous Heritage Commission did the due diligence, and for whatever reason, it was just completely shut down. And
So we're
now
gonna revive it.
now it appears that study is no longer valid because 15 years changes an unoccupied building. So the 20,000, our chairwoman Fran reached out to the same firm, and they said I think they didn't give an official estimate, but they said around 15,000 to redo that same survey.
Okay,
So that was the hopes of the Heritage Commission. If this revolving fund gets seeded with 20,000, 15,000 would right away be used for a new study, and then leave that 5,000 for whatever. There's a lot,
yeah,
You know.
no, I know there is a lot, and it's gonna take a lot of money in order to,
and
it's
it's
take care of some of
discretionary
this
spending.
inventory that we have, yeah.
It really is.
So that's why it's a decision of the voters, do
Yeah.
we place value in those antique items, and are they
Right.
worth restoring?
Yeah.
Cause we're gonna need the community support
Yeah.
in
And
order to
so
do it.
these smaller items, I'm meeting with a local painter to get an estimate on getting the face of our town clock restored. Hopefully meeting him
You
next
say
week.
little projects, but they're,
I know.
Well, no,
Turn
but think
into
about
it,
it, the face of the town clock is this big,
yeah,
and there's 4 of them, so that's a small project. But to
Yeah.
go up there and put that gold background and the black numbers back on there,
yeah,
and then we're attempting to get a schedule for maintaining that clock, because somebody through the centuries decided to put in time zones.
Oh, really?
I mean, no, daylight savings time,
savings
I
time.
mean, and so that thing has to be accessed
yeah,
on a regular basis, so we're trying to work with the church there.
okay,
It's another one of them odd things where the town was bequeathed something. We own the clock, but we don't own any of the structure.
yeah,
So,
Yeah.
but we haven't maintained them. So hopefully there's some forward motion with the Heritage Commission. It's been a long.
Yeah, that's exciting.
And then I guess the cemetery trustees were meeting tomorrow and hopefully have a good update and a clarifying meeting with them. I should say the Finance Advisory Committee member was at it was an unofficial meeting that Fran and I had.
Yeah.
Just because we had access to Luke Moran on the Finance Advisory. It was really nice to see just the passion that committee is putting into this.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's not a hostile approach, very much trying to help, with Fran, like with where things should be spent, what should be spent where, and
Yeah.
I was impressed.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Now, in regards to that, I had, spoken with Luke over the weekend because he was having trouble getting a hold of like some groups and things, and like Heritage was one of them. And I had made the mention that I thought that Fran had stepped down.
She's reconsidering.
Okay, all right, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. So I just wanted to make sure I did
She
it.
hasn't fully
Okay.
done
No,
it
hey,
either.
yeah. No. All right. That's great. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
She's
I
reconsidering.
was too.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. And then Luke is also tasked with the cemetery committee, so
Hey, hit me. Is like
he'll
This,
be
this,
joining
this,
us.
yeah.
And he was like, Jason.
Who was?
me? I was like, oh, coincidentally,
Oh.
Jason's liaison. Oh, coincidentally, Jason's
I
on the
know.
Heritage Commission.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so
Yeah.
that was good,
Yeah, and then
and I hope to see
Yeah.
more good things come.
that was good. Yeah, and then as well, the cemetery trustees are due to meet with the planning board tomorrow evening as well.
The planning board.
Yep.
Regarding a new potential land or what?
Yeah, I think that and just like where we're at with our inventory,
Oh.
like for cemetery plots.
Well, that brings up another old business. Any word from the state?
We are waiting for the cemetery trustees and or sexton to get us. I finally yesterday got the list of names. There's 13 names on the list, but I sent out an email to them today. I will forward it to you.
Oh, good.
They want more detail, plot numbers, where they are, something, anything,
Oh wow.
not
Eh,
just
are we
not just
talking-
13 names.
Are we talking about just the easement area?
Yes. So I attached a couple of things. I'll forward it to you. I keep forgetting that you're the liaison for that.
Good. That'd be nice to put that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
finish it
I mean,
up.
that's all they're waiting on. It's all they've been waiting on for about a month and a half, but here we are. Get on them so we can wrap this up. Please, sir.
Please.
Please, sir. Sir liaison.
All right. So I'm just gonna double back to you, Lou. You good with old new business?
I am.
Jason? Good? Debbie?
Good.
Alright, yeah, I'm good too. So at this point, I'd like to make a motion to go into non-public session under RSA 91A3 2L for legal.